What's going on? How are you, people? It's Tuesday, February 27th. It's 3:03 p.m. It's pretty nice out. You know, the weather decided to start working with us, and it's pretty nice out. But what's going on? How's your week going? It's we got a long week ahead of us, but nonetheless, let's get right into it. So, the first thing I want to talk about was Reddit. I know a lot of people use Reddit, and I, for one, cannot stand it. I think Reddit is just human filth, and it's just them. Oh God, right? So I don't know. I'm a member of it because I have a blog, so I like to try to advertise articles and things on Reddit. So I throw it on there and just not even looking for, approval, just looking for views and just general feedback. But I'll tell you, I have never, in 2 years, I haven't gotten a single piece of positive or just cooperative feedback. Again, not that I'm looking for that, but I guess at least cooperating would be right. Would be nice, right? So I think today I posted this thing because I'm trying to write this article or this piece on student loans, right? Simple. So I just want to write about student loans and how just pretty bad they are and how horrific they are currently. And I was like, I don't really know how to find, and I want to find personal stories of people who are firsthand really struggling with them and with their payments and things, and maybe, some of the collateral damage that's ensued from that. So, it's simple enough. I'm not going to go, I could use Craigslist, but that's just weird. So I was like, I'll just go on Reddit, right? I'll advertise it on Reddit, see what happens. So I throw it out there, thinking, maybe I got to get at least one or two people who are willing to talk. So I go to our student loans, because there's an R for everything, right? I don't know. But anyways, so I go our student loans. I post it on there. I get one response probably like a half hour ago, and it was, and my post was just saying, okay, hey, if you're interested, I'm looking for just a personal story to feature in this article, or this post rather. If you're interested, please DM me or message me, and we can talk out the details or whatever. I get one response, and it's someone going, I really wouldn't use Reddit for this kind of venue. I really wouldn't, I would if depending on whatever college you're attending, I would use their alumni directory. I wouldn't use some random. Really, I'm not looking for Master Wong's breakdown, dude. Just give me. If you're not interested, don't answer. Ugh. And people mark it up as just, no big deal. It's just the internet. It's just the internet. There are people behind that. The internet's the most, disgusting place. And it's just because people are anonymous. So they can just hide. It's just, I don't know. I'm not going to go rant about the internet, but I think it's craziness. But I think one thing I'm really proud of, right, on Reddit in particular, I wrote this one article or one post one time about Deshaun Watson. This is last April's draft, and I'm saying, okay, the Cleveland Browns, you guys got to draft Deshaun Watson. That was my take on it. I'm a big Watson guy. I think he's a stud. He's a winner. And I was like, the Browns, their last hope right now, though, in the foreseeable future, is drafting Deshaun Watson. It was a simple take, but I stand by it. And I was like, hey, I'll post it on our Cleveland Browns. It applies to them. Well, we'll see what they think. I got demolished. People were just teeing off on me. Deshaun Watson's going to stink. Don't draft Deshaun Watson. You're an idiot. Like, people coming after me for some strange reason. Because I struck a sensitive nerve there. But I'm really proud because Deshaun Watson, if you ask me, I think he's looking pretty good so far. I mean, he's only played 4 or 5 games, but dude looks like a stud. So and Cleveland's stuck in this rat hole going 0-16, and I'm really happy about that. I really am. I hope that team doesn't win a game in the next 10 years. I sincerely hope that. And I hope Deshaun Watson gets 3 MVPs, and people got to watch. If my writing career, because I'm an aspiring writer, anyone listening to this, if nothing comes out of it, and I end up in 20 years working, I'm working insurance, and I'm selling car insurance, I'll be content, because you know what? At least I posted that. At least I called that shot. And sure, he's only played 4 or 5 games. He could easily become a bust. and just become the next, I don't know, RG3. But I think he's going to be a stud, and I'm a huge fan, and I called it. That's all I'll say. I called it. So our Cleveland Browns, go kick sand or walk off a bridge. Oh, God, I can't stand those people. But anyways, let's get into it. I want to talk about the FBI and their investigation into the NCAA men's basketball. That whole scandal going on. So first of all, I don't know why the FBI was getting involved. I think that's kind of the big question here. And I think a lot of people are hoping we're going to get more information out of it. Because right now the big question is, why is this organization that hunts terrorists and the most wanted people in the country, why are they suddenly dabbling in NCAA investigations? I don't know. But nonetheless, they are. And we had, I think it was Yahoo Sports broke the story. And it was predominantly about former NBA agent Andy Miller and his former associate Christian Dawkins and their agency, ASM Sports. I don't know what that stands for. And the report included the FBI report that was released, and that was broken by Yahoo Sports. Included expense reports, balance sheets, list cash advances, entertainment, travel expenses, high school and college prospects and their families. And the document showed this whole underground recruiting operation involving at least 20 Division I basketball programs and more than 25 players. Some of the teams involved are Duke, North Carolina, Texas, Kentucky, Michigan State, USC, Alabama, and that's just a couple of them, right? There's 20 programs involved. And some of the current players right now who are currently playing who are involved, right? You have Miles Bridges on Michigan State. I'm acting like I don't know these guys. I know Wendell Carter, Duke's Wendell Carter. He was involved. Alabama's Colin Sexton. I know you had Dennis Smith. But anyways, so you have this whole kind of situation, which is kind of it's not new news. It's been a reoccurring thing. I guess now the FBI thinks it's extremely important. So these players are getting paid, essentially. I think so a lot of them were actually considered loans. It was like, all right, we'll loan you this money, and then you just, this is private funds, but we're hoping you're going to go to the NBA, so you can just pay us back when you go there. So it's just, players were getting paid to play. Dennis Smith, he went on to play at North Carolina State in 2016. He received $43,000, according to documents. Isaiah Whitehead, we all know him. I think he's on the Heat right now. When he was a freshman at Seton Hall, he received $26,136. Well, first of all, I don't know how the hell do you come up with a number like that? Like, we'll pay you $26,136. I don't know if they got this algorithm. I hope the FBI investigation clears that one up because that kind of confuses me. But then you got Tim Quarterman. I don't know who that is. He was a junior at LSU when he received $16,000. Diamond Stone was a freshman at Maryland. What an awesome name, by the way. Wow. $14,000, and then you got there's a whole list of them. Markelle Fultz, we know him as the number one draft pick last year's NBA draft, received $10,000. And all these, it's just this long history of this kind of stuff. And the big thing is, this violates the NCAA amateurism rules. But my beef with it is this. I saw an ESPN reporter covering this whole thing. And this guy, this guy who looks like he's never dribbled a basketball in his life. This just grumpy old white guy. And he's just going, why we refer to these players as cheaters. Really? We're going to call these kids cheaters? Let's be honest with ourselves right now. We're going to call these 17, some of these kids are probably 16, 17 years old, and we're getting ready to go to college. I guess not 16, but 17, 18-year-olds, and we're calling them cheaters because, they're expected to sit there and when, I'll give you $30,000 to come play for us, and they're expected to say no. Let's be honest now. What's this kid supposed to go? Some 16, 17-year-old kid's going to go, no, sir, I can't do that. It's a violation of NCAA rules. No, don't call these kids cheaters. I, for one, think that's absurd. And right, because anyone on the outside looking in on this, including that ESPN grumpy old white guy, it's easy for us to go, you should have not accepted it. Any of us would have accepted that. This is not on the kids. By any means. Punish the coaches, the agents, the executives. ASM Sports, or, punish those people. Don't punish the players. This is a little unrelated, but when I think about these kind of situations, I think of Reggie Bush. And for me, that one that one did strike me, pretty hard. Because Reggie Bush, for me, when I was a kid and he was at USC, he was one of those guys who kind of led me into football and into being really into football. I remember him at USC, and the guy was, I don't think if you ask me, there's never been a more exciting player in college football since. I can't speak on, Bo Jackson and those guys. But Reggie Bush, for me, he was an incredible sight. And I know he had to return his Heisman Trophy, and he got punished and because he accepted bribes to go to USC. I think that's what it was. No, Reggie Bush might have been the memorabilia thing. He might have been selling stuff. I don't know. I'm looking at that after our next commercial break. But nonetheless, like I was saying, I think to call these kids cheaters is completely unwarranted. These kids, these 16, 17-year-old kids, they're not expected to say no. A lot of these kids, are from the hood. A lot of these kids have never seen this kind of money before, and they've grown up in poverty. And you're telling me these kids are should sit there and say, no, sir, I cannot accept that $40,000 bribe to go play at Kentucky. No, they're not going to say that. I think that's just completely unwarranted to refer to these kids as cheaters. And a lot of the speculation now, it also becomes, what do we do about this? How do we handle this situation? What do we do? And to me, it's very simple. And it's also been an ongoing conversation the past couple of years. You pay Division I players. You pay them. Don't give me, I think any argument that you shouldn't is just dumb. I honestly do. So college athletics, which is primarily funded through college football and basketball. Those are the two big ones. So this number I'm about to read to you only includes that. Okay, well, including, so this is just TV money from the NCAA tournament in the past 22 years. I know that's all these specific, but that's what I found. Over the past 20 plus years, just from the NCAA tournament, March Madness, the NCAA has grossed $19.6 billion. On average, the NCAA, just through TV, funds and profits, on average, they earn about $1 billion in annual revenue. Think about that for a second. And they're not grossing that money because of the coaches or because, these kids are getting good grades. No one's watching going, hey, that Isaiah Whitehead kid, he got an A in science. They're not watching because of that. They're watching because of these kids and how talented they are. I think the answer is simple. You pay these kids. These kids are grossing you a ton of money, and you want to stop all this. You want to get the FBI out of your business. You start paying these kids and giving them what they deserve. And I know a big argument is, well, these kids are getting free educations. These kids, some of these kids who should not be getting free educations are getting free educations. Stop that. Are those free educations worth $1 billion of annual revenue? No. And these kids, oh, man. This is just another example of just a long history of the NCAA exploiting youth. It is. I said it on my other show with Victor last week, 2 weeks ago, and it's not new news, but the NCAA is corrupt AF. Capital AF. The NCAA is absolutely corrupt, and it's pretty crazy. And I think it only gets more corrupt. Not corrupt, but I think it only gets more bizarre and just intriguing when you go down from Division I sports. Division II, Division III. Like, really, what's going on? Like, why? It's bizarre to me. I think one of the professors here, he is not from the U.S., and he was telling me that it's interesting from a European's perspective on NCAA sports because it's such a weird concept. Over there, when I say over there, England and France, all these different, just non-United States, right? You have clubs, and then you have university. You have school, and you have sports, and they're completely separate. But yet in the U.S., even at a high school level, in the U.S., you have this weird integration of both. Like, you kind of combine them both, and it's bizarre. And I think it's only fitting that it is as corrupt as it is, because it's just such a bizarre concept to me. But we'll be back after this short break. and we'll be talking about Mack Beggs, the Texas girl who's been running train down in Texas in wrestling. So we'll be back after this.
No matter who we are or where we come from, we all experience difficulties in life.
Military veterans know that sometimes it takes strength and determination to make it through.
Whether it's obvious physical challenges or struggles on the inside, it takes strength to ask for help when you need it.
I knew that I had to get support, not just for me, but for the sake of my wife and kids.
Talking about it has helped me feel more like myself again.
Honestly, it was hard to open up at first, but it's changed my life for the better.
Learn how veterans like us have reached out for help, and hear stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
Hey, Brian Cathan is here.
And Leon Passner. We're the hosts of Value This with Brian and Leon.
Your intergalactic source on public radio for everything about antiques and collectibles.
Absolutely, and we do it in a fun way that you'll enjoy.
Or at least we enjoy.
Yes, just think Abbott Costello.
Meet the Antiques Roadshow on the radio. So join us every week on Value This with Brian and Leon.
Saturday mornings at 8 and Sunday mornings at 9 on WNTI.org.
They say art is in the eye of the beholder, but Centenary Stage Company has some art you're guaranteed to love. It's the Tony Award-winning comedy Art, February 16th through March 4th at the Lackland Performing Arts Center's Sitnick Theater. Hi, this is Carl Wallner inviting you to see a wildly funny, naughty, and provocative play. Art is a hilarious exploration of the very notion of what constitutes art, while examining the meaning of friendship. Art is funny, sophisticated, stylish, stimulated, and moving. Art is directed by Annie Ochogrosso and features Broadway veterans Randall Duke Kim and Kevin Carolyn, along with Centenary Stage Company's very own artistic director, me, Carl Wallnow. For tickets and showtimes, go to centenarystageco.org or call 908-979-0900. Don't miss Yasmina Reza's Art, February 16th through March 4th at Centenary's Lackland Performing Arts Center.
And welcome back. You're listening to the James Iwanicki Show, or podcast, whatever you want to call it. And we're about to talk about Mack Beggs. Now, Mack Beggs, for the second year in a row, has won the Texas Girls 6A Wrestling Championship in the 110-pound weight class. Mack Beggs is transgender. Was born female, wanted to become a man. But the Texas state law requires competition. You know, if you're going to compete in a sport, it has to be in whatever sport your birth certificate claims you as, right? So Mack Beggs was a girl and wants to be a guy. And it wasn't like it wasn't like this person wanted to keep competing against women. Like he wanted to move on and compete against men. Because it's fully, they are fully aware that taking injections of testosterone on a weekly basis is it gives you quite the advantage, as we will find out pretty soon. So she's taking 36 milligrams of test a week, and she started this process last year. So I don't know if he started this process some time ago, and has been taking 36 milligrams of testosterone a week since. I don't know how long you take that for. I'm not really sure how that works. But nonetheless, he's been forced to compete in the girls' division. And needless to say, Mack Beggs went to town. Last year went 56-0, won the championship. This year, 36-0, won the championship. And this year's championship match, the opponent was 52-0. The final score was 11-2, people. This was not a competition. This wasn't a match. This was just a public massacre. And so, I for one love the story. I remember I actually wrote about it last year when it happened on my blog. Go check out my blog. But anyways, I love this story, right? You have, anytime you get rednecks getting upset and angered and getting offended, I love it. I'm a big fan of that, because you hear this story, and there was tons of controversy about it. That's needless to say. But and then every time Mack Beggs would step on the court to for a match, it was just getting roasted. People were in the crowd. You can get her off the stage. That ain't no woman. People just screaming. I'm sure there was some stuff thrown. Get that thing off the court. People just a bunch of hillbillies down south freaking out as they just are forced to watch their daughters get demolished by this juiced up animal. Just this pile of drives. It's probably, I'm hoping there's blood everywhere. Like I said, this answer with booze and hatred and since 92-0. And I think that's, I love it. I'd realistically drop probably like $850 to go watch that match. Just for like some random Texas 6A women's match. I would drop $850 plus some popcorn, some, a soda. I'd run my bill up to $20 to go watch that. That's, to me, that's practically the WWE right there. It sounds like A+ entertainment to me. Get her out of here! No! And then there's just gasps. And then while there's their daughters just getting thrown around, I love it too because it's like, we have all the speculation on steroids and testosterone, right? I mean, and in baseball, there's what can it actually do? 92-0. 36 milligrams of test a week, it makes quite the difference. I mean, and I don't know. I wish I had the opportunity to go watch this. If this was going on in New Jersey, I'd be there. I would be there in a heartbeat. And after the championship match, the losing competitor, I don't know if you can, competitor, just the losing test subject, Kayla Fitt, spoke to Dallas Morning News. And she was quoted as saying, the strength was definitely the difference. I didn't anticipate how strong he was. I love that, And then, she goes on to continue saying, I understand if you want to be, to transition your gender. I understand that totally, but there's a time and a place. You can do that after high school, or if you want to do it, you can quit the sport, because I don't think it's fair at all that you're taking testosterone. That's steroids. I just think it's funny. It's very romantic to me because it's a romantic story because, Mack Beggs, he wasn't trying to, unfortunately, Kayla Fitt. Kayla Fitt. She was just caught in the crossfire. Kayla, this wasn't about you. It wasn't personal. But this beast was forced to compete against other women. And I love the result. 92-0. Get her out of here! And then just their daughters are getting thrown around like a piece of meat. Just, it's just some jacked up chick out there just destroying everything. Mack Beggs, in response to Kayla Fitt's quotes, was saying, they're steroids. They're saying, they're beating up on girls. It just comes down to technique and who has the most heart. That's very sweet of you, Mac. But Mac, the testosterone has something to do with it. Let's be honest here. I'm actually curious. It's definitely, obviously it's not in any of these stories, but I wonder what the record was prior to the testosterone. And then she also said, I put too much blood, sweat, and tears. I put too much BS into this journey that I want to come out on top. And that's true. And listen, I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm a huge fan. I was a fan since last year. I'm not even a bandwagon fan. I'm just a genuine fan. You pissed off a lot of people in the past 2 years, and for that, you get the biggest victory you could ever earn. You're in a small group of people who just decided to become supervillains and just start, tormenting hillbillies. And I'm a big fan. So my James Iwanicki Show award of the week goes to Mack Beggs. So let's give him a round of applause, right? Good job, Mac. But, I don't know. That wasn't comfortable. But that's all I really got for the docket today. I was sitting there and I'm, because going solo here is quite the challenge. So I wasn't about to try to go an hour. But So again, we talked about the FBI investigating NCAA men's basketball. FBI, keep at it. Keep your priorities straight. Keep investigating the basketball scandals and not, shooters and stuff like that. So you're doing a great job. Mac Beggs, you too. You're doing a great job. Keep at it. You're pissing a lot of people off. Keep doing that. So thank you. You've been listening to the James Zawinecki Show on WNTI.org, the Sound of Centenary. Tune in next week as I'll be talking about the... I said I would do it last week, but I want to do a mock draft. I want to do a first round mock draft, the NFL, coming up in April. I think it's April. It might be May because they pushed it back. But we'll see you next week. Have a good one.